everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom, and today I'm going to share with you a mid-year homeschool update. It has been a while since I talked about curriculum, what's working for us, what's not working for us, and I thought I would jump in here and share with you some of the things that we are tweaking and changing in the middle of the year. As you are watching this video, it is week 21 of our homeschool year, so I'm a little bit past the midway point, but I wanted to take the last couple weeks to really dial in some of the things that we are incorporating since the Christmas holiday. Now this video is in collaboration with Ingrid at Mommy and Mia Homeschool Chronicles, as well as April at The Simple Rugged Path. I'm going to link both of their channels down below and the playlist, so check that description box. I'm also going to link my original curriculum videos from August, where I share curriculum for 8th grade, 5th grade, and 2nd grade, so check those out. Not a whole lot is changing. There are a few things that are changing that I want to share with you, and some little things that we tweaked even in the fall that you probably don't know about. Let's talk about my 2nd grader. For the most part, we are sticking to the same math curriculum, mostly the same language arts curriculum. We needed a slight break. He does rod and staff reading, and we love it. But there is a 30-day wiggle room. There's 150 lessons, which is great. And when we came back from Christmas, I was realizing the lessons were getting really long, probably 4 or 5 pages of fill in the blank, sentence answer, that sort of thing, which to me, he's a young 2nd grader. It's a lot of writing for a 7-year-old. So after Christmas break, I pulled out one of these lap books from Confessions of a Homeschooler. I will link the particular package that I have down below. Not affiliated, just so you know which package I have. And one of them is Stuart Little, which we are loving. We are creating a lap book for that. I think we have 3 or 4 chapters left. I'm going to take an extra day to work on the book report because it's kind of extensive. And then we've picked up the Stuart Little video from the library that we're going to read. And the book and the video are totally different. I'm excited to share that with him because I know it's just going to blow his mind that they took so much liberty with the movie. He's not going to understand that one. Let's see. Spelling. We are still doing spectrum spelling, but we've slowed down in it. He's not my natural speller, so we're working on that. First language lessons, we still love, but again, the lessons have gotten kind of long, and they're so thorough that I'm not super panicked if we don't finish this by the end of the year. I think we are on lesson 56 of 100, so we'll get close, but maybe not quite finish out the whole thing. History, we're still in Story of the World, which we love. And science, we've kind of stalled out on science a little bit. We did an animals unit in the fall and a simple machines. We were almost done with simple machines when the break hit. We maybe had 1.5 weeks left. But I decided to move on because at the time that we were doing that packet, it was Evan Moore. We were also going to our local children's museum, and they had an exhibit there that was all about simple machines, pulleys and inclined planes, all this stuff. It was all about how simple machines have evolved and technology has evolved, you know, over this process. So he was getting tons and tons of hands-on experience with all kinds of simple machines, and I really felt like he got it, like it was going to be okay to move on. So with science, I'm struggling with him right now because I was just feeling super stretched thin at the end of the semester, and so I thought, okay, I can combine him in science with my older kids, just have a lower expectation, just have more age-appropriate evaluation of him. But we are in an atmosphere unit, and we're trying to prepare for what we're going to be studying about weather, and I'm struggling to understand atmosphere right now. I'm struggling to understand it. My older kids are struggling to understand it. So to convey that to a 2nd grader, I'm personally struggling. It's not that he can't get it. I am personally struggling on how to do that. So he has been sitting in on those lessons with us, but we have also been talking about Arctic animals in our morning time. We just finished studying penguins. I will link this down below. I found a free printable lap book on Teachers Pay Teachers. And so we are creating a penguin lap book. I'm going to try to find something similar for polar bears because we're going to do polar bears next. And so I'm kind of stalled out on science with him. I don't know if I go back. I still want to do energy with him, which was going to be our third science unit, and then he was going to pop into space with us in this end of the year. I don't know. It just feels like a lot when I'm teaching multiple subjects. My 5th grader is my daughter. She's my only girl. She is doing great in math. I feel like she's the one that I have tweaked her assignments the least, changed the least. One thing I want to share with you that she completed in the fall, is I had her and my son, because they do history together, my younger one, they picked a figure from history and they had to do a biographical report. So like a living history report. They had to do timeline and illustration, and then I had an outline for a report that I gave them to work on. She chose Sally Ride and my little guy chose Galileo, which was funny that they both chose people who were in the space field, which I thought was kind of cool. So this was hers. I am really proud of these living history projects that they do. This is the 2nd year they've done them. Then they have to present them and be recorded, the whole thing. They have to present them to the family. So I hang on to these as long as I can. But I thought she just did a fantastic job. Then I have my 8th grader, and we're not switching up a whole lot with him. He really is getting the atmosphere thing, which is great. We are kind of pushing on some things in math. He's kind of my math kid. He's always been able to figure things out. He's always been able to work his way around a math problem, but felt like in the chapter that we were doing, we were beating a horse to death on what we were trying to do, and it was frustrating him and it was frustrating me. And I was just looking at it going, we just need to move on. So we've moved on to the next chapter, and it's a lot of algebra this year, a lot of algebra. But now we're moving on to like some graphing and stuff, which is going really, really well. The one thing I did change with him was his grammar, and I have such a love for rod and staff reading and grammar. I love that. I feel like it's really, really thorough, but the grammar for him was just not working. And so we moved on to Easy Grammar Plus. I think for him it was the transfer. Had I had the workbook for rod and staff, it may have been okay, but there's a lot of transfer, and it's kind of like your lessons build very, very quickly. Whereas with this, there's a lot of repetition. And in fact, we don't do every page for every lesson, but I think he needed that repetition. We did several worksheets on prepositions because for some reason prepositions was a really tough one, and I started to think about it. There are a lot of prepositions that signal the beginning of a phrase. So one of the things that we're doing to help with that is we're pulling some CC memory cards, and we have started memorizing the prepositions. But I really see a marked improvement in his grammar since using this. Talking about these cards, we've included these into our morning basket time. We are not a classical conversations family, but I see a lot of value in that. I think if I would have started earlier, I maybe wouldn't be intimidated, but to start a kid in 8th grade, I feel very intimidated by it. So I have a friend who pulled these. They're revamping their cards, and so she gave me the older version. And we have been using a lot of the science cards, memorizing a lot of the science concepts. I want to help my 8th grader get a good foundation in this before he moves on to high school. We've been using the multiplication cards for my little guy, and then all the measurement cards all of us have been memorizing. We did 10 Commandments earlier this year, and like I said, we're really memorizing, focusing on prepositions. The one thing that we're really not using these for is the history cards, because we are in cycle 2 and these are the history cards for cycle 1. Other than that, I am loving this addition to our morning time basket. If you saw my 10 homeschool resolutions for the new year, you saw that we were going to start adding some art in this year, and I have picked one morning a week where we kind of set our morning time basket aside and we pull up art videos on YouTube. We have been studying Arctic animals, particularly penguins, this last month, and so we've done several art lessons about penguins. We've done Art Hub for kids. We've also done the chalk pastel Art Grammy or something like that. I will link her channel down below too. She's amazing, and my kids love her. They love having that aspect of just being able to be creative once a week and have an art lesson. Something that I never thought about doing before, but we are having a ton of fun with it, a ton. And I'm really glad we made that switch. It's just been a good light. It brought a lot of lightness to our week. So I think that's everything I have to update you guys on. Oh, Lydia dropped choir. She hated it. I was able to kind of get her through the Christmas performance, and that was it. So she's gone back to knitting. Josiah loves it. He always wants to take choir until, you know, he can't take it anymore. He's decided he absolutely loves it. He goes around the house singing all the time. And we're doing well. I feel like we've kind of gotten into this groove of what works for us, what doesn't work for us, and things are going really well. My temptation is to bring in everything, because I want to do everything. I want to do music, I want to do art, I don't really want to do Latin because it intimidates me, but you know, as a homeschool mom, I just want to do everything. And so the hardest thing for me this year has been able to really know how to pick and choose and when to say no. So, but that's where we're at. Things are going really well. I'm excited. I know I'm going to start getting antsy sometime in March when the weather gets really nice, and we'll probably switch things up again. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know where you're at in your homeschool year, what's working for you, and maybe what's a thumbs up and what's a thumbs down. Don't forget to like this video and hit that subscription button, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.